Assalamualaikum and good morning. Today, our group would like to present Malaysia economic gross domestic product, inflation, and unemployment from 2015 until 2022.
My name is Muhammad AIMAN and I would like to present our group presentation, which is introduction. So for the introduction, Malaysia is a rapidly developing country in Southeast Asia known for its diversity. Its economy has experienced significant progress and is classified as an upper middle income economy. The gross domestic product serves as crucial indicator of Malaysia's economic performance, measuring the total value of goods and services produced within the country. Malaysia's economy is diverse, with key sectors including manufacturing, services, agriculture, and mining. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the country's GDP growth rate due to disruption in various sectors. Inflation refers to the gradual increase in price over time, leading to a decrease in purchasing power. The Malaysian government closely monitors inflation to ensure price stability and sustainable economic growth. Inflation in Malaysia has experienced fluctuation influenced by factors such as global commodity price, government policies, and supply-demand dynamics. It is important for the government to balance controlling inflation with promoting economic growth. Unemployment is a significant indicator of labor market condition and overall economic well-being. Malaysia has made progress in reducing unemployment through policies that stimulate job creation, provide vocational training, and encourage entrepreneurship. Unemployment rates can be influenced by both global and domestic economic factors, such as economic downturns, change in industrial structure, and technological advancement. The COVID-19 pandemic has posed challenge to the job market. Despite challenge, Malaysia's economy has shown resilience and adaptability. The country strives for sustainable growth, price stability, and job creation to improve the standard of living for its citizens.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is HILMI Razin bin MOHD, and today I will talk about factor causing inflation, gross domestic product, and unemployment. So let look out of factor causing inflation first. So in economics, inflation refers to a rise in the general level of price for goods and services in an economy over time. With an increase in the general price level, each unit of currency can only purchase a smaller quantity of goods and services than before. Therefore, inflation also reflects a decrease in the purchasing power of money, which is a real loss in the internal exchange medium and unit of account within an economy. A key measure of price inflation is the inflation rate, which is the annual percentage change in a general price index. So let's look out for the first data, which is the change in the consumer price index for all urban consumers over the 12-month period ending May 2023. So you can see from 19,070 to 2022, each year always the price always increase. So that's we call the inflation. Okay, for next, let's talk about factor causing the gross domestic products in Malaysia. So for the gross domestic product, the factors that contribute to Malaysia GDP can be categorized as consumption, investment, government spending, and net export. Consumption represents spending by individuals and households, while investment refers to capital goods spending. Government spending includes expenditure on public service, and net export measure the difference between export and imports. These factors are used to calculate Malaysia's gross domestic product and assess its economic health. So let's look out for the data our group collect. The consumer price index CPI for January 2022 increased by 2.3% to 124.9% compared to 122.1% in the same month of the previous year. This increase surpassed the average inflation rate for the period from 2011 to January 2022, 1.9%. The Department of Statistics Malaysia released the Consumer Price Index for January 2022. Okay, for the last one of my part is we are going to look about factors causing unemployment. So the problem of unemployment in Malaysia in 2022 has been a topic of discussion among the public due to the sudden increase in the unemployment rate after the government announced the implementation of the MCO to the citizens. Prior to the presence of the COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia, the country's unemployment rate remained below 400 for 10 years. The implementation of the MCO by the government has led to an increase in the unemployment rate in Malaysia. This is because the MCO has resulted in increased cost of companies, forcing them to take measures to reduce labor intake and lay off workers in order to reduce expenses. The layoff indirectly contribute to the rise in the unemployment rate in Malaysia. The spread of the COVID-19 pandemic has had negative effect on people's life in the world. Unemployment not only affect the economic, social and political aspect but also pose serious problem for developing countries. Most economists agree that the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic is more severe than the Asian financial crisis in 1998 and the global financial crisis in 2009. So let's look out of the data that we get from the factor causing unemployment. So for the year 2019, the rate of unemployment is 3.30%, and until the 2022 it's increased to 4.80%, which is the unemployment at this at this time is 760,000 ringgit, 760,000 citizens that's causing an employment in Malaysia. So thank you. That's all from my part.
Alright, now we go to impact of unemployment. The COVID-19 pandemic has increased unemployment rates globally, creating financial hardships, financial dependence, and difficulties affording basic necessities. People without jobs frequently experience mental stress, depression, and lowered self-esteem. Family harmony Family harmony is hampered by unemployment, which also causes domestic strife, divorce, and criminal activity. High unemployment rates have an effect on a nation's income, tax revenue, and economic activity. Living standards can be lowered and poverty rates can increase as a result of unemployment. For the purpose of combating poverty and avoiding the obstruction of developmental activities, effective control of unemployment rates is essential. In order to effectively lower unemployment rates and its effect, this study will look at the factors influencing it in Malaysia. Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad IRFAN bin NORHALIM. Now I would like to present about impact of gross domestic product. In 2023, Malaysia's economic growth is anticipated to be 4.0% with slower external demand. The recovery is widespread across industries and businesses, with big businesses driving sales growth. However, progress is moving more slowly for weak groups, especially the poor and weak. Spending by the government during the COVID-19 crisis has increased debt levels and decreased fiscal space. Living expenses could go up as a result of the Malaysian ringgit depreciation, but economic growth could also be boosted to minimize the effects of the digital divide and maximize the advantage of digitization reforms are required. Alright, now we look at impact of inflation. When the general price level increases, it indicates a decline in the buying power of the currency. This means that each unit of currency can purchase fewer goods and services. Inflation affects different individuals and the economy unevenly. It has negative consequences for some people, while others benefit from the decrease in the purchasing power of money. For instance, individuals who own physical assets like property or stocks benefit when the value of their holding increases and others try to acquire or buy them. However, their ability to benefit depends on the stability of their income. Workers and retirees often experience wage increase that fell behind the inflation rate, resulting in stagnant income for some individuals.
My name is Muhammad FIKRI bin Ahmad Zamani and will explain about government policy. Now, I will explain about government policy GDP. Firstly, Malaysia's economic policy have led to a strong recovery with GDP growth of 8.9% in Q2 2022, surpassing expectation. Secondly, the unemployment rate has decreased to 3.8% in June 2022 with ongoing government policies aimed at job creation and wage subsidies. Thirdly, inflation has remained stable and the banking system has facilitated credit intermediation in the economy with increased financing for household and business. Lastly, the Ministry of Finance is preparing Budget 2023, focusing on sustainable subsidy management, economic reforms, and strengthening the country's resilience. Now, we go to the government policy of inflation. Malaysia is one of the ASEAN countries that has recorded a low and manageable inflation rate compared to other nations like the United States, which experienced a sharp increase to a new level, 9.1% in Malaysia 2022. Other than that, according to the Manarakan Moten, the former chief economist of Alliance Bank's Malaysia Berhad, the basket of goods used to measure inflation include control items which contribute to reducing the inflation rate. Lastly, subsidies can be seen as a form protectionism or threat barrier as they make domestically produced goods and services competitive against import. Subsidies can disrupt markets and impose significant economic costs. So, this is my last part for the presentation. So, we go to the presentation about government policy and employment. Firstly, Malaysia Family Career Carnival. During the recent Malaysia Family Career Carnival, Tengku Zarul highlighted the positive impact of the government measures such as the gradual reopening of the economy on the growth of business and trade. He mentioned that the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in an increase in the unemployment rate to 4.5% in 2022, which remained at 4.6% last year. Secondly, wage subsidy program 4.0. According the Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin has announced the implementation of the wage subsidy program PSU 4.0 under the People's Protection and Economic Recovery Package, or also known as PERMULE, with an allocation on 3.8 billion PSU 4.0 aims to benefit more than 2.5 million workers, providing financial support of 600 per worker.
So for the last part is conclusion. In conclusion, Malaysia is a rapidly developing country in Southeast Asia with a diverse economy. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted its growth rate, but the government is striving for sustainable growth, price stability and job creation. Inflation in Malaysia has been influenced by various factors and the government has implemented measures to control it. Unemployment has increased due to the pandemic and addressing the contributing factor is crucial. The Malaysian government has implemented policies to manage inflation and address unemployment effectively. Their economic policies have supported the recovery and efforts are being made to prioritize the welfare of citizens and business. The government has also implemented initiatives and programs to support workers and business during the pandemic and facilitate economic recovery. That's all from us. Thank you.